Well, a federal judge has cleared the way for tonight's cage match on the south lawn of the White House. The pugilistic spectacle called UFC Freedom 250 promises to be unlike any other event this or any White House has hosted in the past.
From a weigh-in at the Lincoln Memorial to motorcycles jumping an octagon on the south lawn, the event also happens to be taking place on the president's 80th birthday. Balance of Power co-host Joe Mathieu got a preview.
The claw is impressive in size and scale. We've been watching it go up from different vantage points around Washington, D.C. Some have compared it to look like an alien spacecraft that landed on the south lawn. The rigging is enormous with the lighting and the cover for the stage. 600 tons. 92 feet tall.
Well, they have some of the greatest champions in the world. They'll have 100,000 people down by the ellipse with screens, and it's all free. It's going to be great.
It's all free for the people who will be seated here on the south lawn and many more on the ellipse, but far from free for TKO Holdings, the parent company of the UFC and WWE, of which Donald Trump, by the way, is a recent shareholder. They laid out reportedly $60 million to pay for all of this, about half of which is covered by sponsorships, leaving the company with a $30 million loss. Worth it, in their view, to get on Paramount Plus in living rooms around the country and mainstream a sport like this on the south lawn of the White House.
Yeah, I'll be there, but I'm not thrilled about it. This doesn't seem like a wise idea.
Indeed, Joe Rogan will be here along with anyone close to this sport. This is prime time for the UFC, along with insiders, political insiders. This is a difficult ticket to get, especially if you want to sit under the claw. Not to mention the 1,000 or so members of the military who have been invited on Sunday night to populate these seats as well. The big question we have is, what will they be using for a locker room inside the White House? And will the administration make good on initial plans to have the fighters exit from the Oval Office? This is not a normal environment for these fighters to be outdoors in the elements. And we do have a heat wave here in Washington and severe weather in the forecast, potentially setting this up to be the biggest lightning rod in Washington.
I've seen the aerial shot of the White House plant these days, and it is this thing, it is the construction, it is the demolition. Yeah. You were walking around. What is it like to be there amidst all of this, Joe?
It's kind of like being in the middle of a World's Fair that's coming together, because if you add the Ellipse and the National Mall, where they're going to have a massive Ferris wheel, and there's staging for the weigh-in, of course, still at the Lincoln Memorial, and they're expecting as many as 80,000 people on the Ellipse. So huge screens are up there to watch the fight on top of it. And all this comes together to celebrate America's 250th birthday. This is just one of those nights that, by the way, just happens to coincide with the president's 80th birthday. He's a big fan of the fights, and this is what he wanted to see. I am curious, like, where the fighters are, if they're going to emerge from the Oval Office. At one point, they were behind the desk with the president to promote this whole thing. They're looking for a Super Bowl level event here, and all of it will have the backdrop of the White House. And for a lot of people, this is really violent stuff, guys. This isn't exactly like having a stickball game on the South Lawn. So the optics are going to be pretty wild.
I also want to ask, I got eviscerated on Twitter when this was first announced and they first started sending out the photos of this large structure going up, saying who is paying for this? It was a rhetorical question, but irony is lost on the internet. I got pushback with people saying UFC is covering the expenses, but UFC cannot possibly be paying for all the extraordinary extra expenses. I'm thinking security, I'm thinking traffic, I'm thinking crowd control. Who is footing the bill for all of that, and do we have any idea how much that's costing?
It's not cheap. And yes, the company that owns the UFC, as well as World Wrestling Entertainment, it's called TKO Group, run by Ari Emanuel. And by the way, just a couple of weeks ago, Donald Trump bought $50,000 worth of stock in TKO.
Interesting.
They dropped $60 million of their own money, and there are sponsors here. It says crypto.com all over the place if you walk underneath the canopy, and there are other sponsors as well. 30 million of which was reportedly covered by the sponsors. That means there's a $30 million loss for that company. Now, you guys understand the prospect of earned media. And imagine, they've got a deal now with Paramount Skydance. This is going to be streamed on Paramount Plus. This is promotion that you simply cannot buy. They decided that it was worth it to them, and they have been paying a fortune not only to have this built, shipped over across the ocean and set up on the South Lawn. but they are paying for pretty much all of the accommodations, and they even control the credentialing tonight. Ms. Ruffini will appreciate, or not, the fact that the White House press corps is not invited.
Not
you
invited.
have to get a credential through the UFC if you want to be on the White House grounds later.
I mean, that is kind of insane to me, especially since people have hard passes and free access to the White House. Yeah.
Not welcome. Only the pool will be allowed to be there.
The president, I gather, has mused about maybe keeping this structure on the South Lawn going forward. Speak to that if you would. Yes, he's re-envisioning what the White House footprint is going to look like, Joe. We think of what's been on the South Lawn in the past. Picnics for members of Congress and their families, for instance. This is a Easter egg roll. This is a radical reimagining of what the White House could be.
Not to mention the departure point for the president. I mean, he wanted a helipad out there. That's where the helicopter comes to pick him up. I don't think the Secret Service loves the idea of this being a permanent fixture for the simple point of evacuation that the South Lawn provides, never mind all of the events that take place, to your point. But the president did compare it to the Eiffel Tower, which he said was supposed to be temporary at one point. He said, maybe we won't get rid of this immediately. I mean, look, guys, between us, don't you know, you have to believe he wants to use that stage for something at some point before they knock it all down and carry it away. And maybe it's that speech he's going to deliver a little bit later on in the summer, the MAGA rally on the Mall.
Or a Vance Rubio decisive cage match to decide who the Republican nominee may be.
I mean, they're having a rhetorical
By the way, did you hear
They could
about
have
the
a physical
motorcycle?
one.
They're going to have a motorcycle jump over the octagon. This is one of the things that we
like Evel Knievel?
There's this stunt guy. Yeah, exactly. He's going to do a backflip. He's a friend of Dana White, Travis somebody. I have to look it up. But they're going to be setting up a ramp just as the final accoutrement here on the South Lawn, guys. I hope you can come for it.
Are you going to watch this? You going to watch this match, Joe?
Well, the match might be a little. I'm not a UFC guy.
Okay.
I'm a baby. I don't have the stomach for this, but I do have to see what the optics are like. I want to see the production values. I want to see how the fighters come out. How does this all work? Who's going to attend? Because not everybody wants to be photographed out there. Those could be tough optics come Monday morning.